a couple of days, I found myself slipping into some old habits again. Hello guys, I'm back. I'm in LA, I'm back at home. You can see the little cat sleeping in the background, so everything is normal as always. And let's dive right into the topic. You can see it in the title, and the question I asked myself today was, did Germany or did going back to Germany trigger my eating disorder? And just to wrap it up at the beginning, I'm fine, I'm doing good. But I want to talk about something today that actually surprised me a lot. So as many of you guys know, I went back to Germany to see my family. It was not the easiest time, if I'm being completely honest. There was a lot going on back home in LA. There was a lot going on in my hometown. And I also didn't expect to be triggered by the environment. It had nothing to do with the people I saw. I really love my family. I really love my friends. But the combination of, a very difficult situation in LA, a very difficult situation in my hometown, and then going back and kind of being reminded of some of the darkest times in my life definitely had an impact on my mood and on my mental stability. And that actually surprised me a lot because I'm in a very good place in LA. I make content for you guys. I wrote a book about my eating disorder. I'm thriving. And so I'm going back and I'm being so triggered, and I find myself in a kind of depressed mood again, which made me feel guilty because I was like, I should enjoy the time here. I should do all the things I wanted to do. And then it's kind of like a downward spiraling circle, which is why I decided to fly back a little bit early. I'm back in LA. I'm very happy I did it. But yeah, so when I first landed in Germany, my stomach was rumbling. It was weird because I didn't even know what's gonna happen. But I was always a very sensitive person, and my body would always tell me when something is going on. And even as a kid or a teenager, I would have stomach aches when, certain situations weren't right for me. And so I landed, my stomach was rumbling, I had a lot of stomach issues, and I had a very hard time eating because of that. I didn't have any single thought of, I'm gonna lose weight, I wanted to starve myself again, anything like this. This was not the case, we're not doing that anymore. But the fact that I just couldn't eat or had a very hard time eating because my stomach was hurting so bad actually had an impact, if I'm being completely honest. And I have to point that out here because I want to make authentic content for you guys. I'm always being very honest here. I'm always sharing my eating disorder stories. I'm sharing the ugly truth. I'm sharing the embarrassing things. And so it's also time for me to share this with you now. So the first couple of days, I of course noticed that my stomach was hurting, and I also noticed that I couldn't eat as I usually do. So I kind of tried to, drink lemonade here and there, eat some ice cream, get something into my body. And I didn't even think about it so much, but after a couple of days, I found myself slipping into some old habits again. It was not no breakdown, nothing very bad, but just those sneaky little thoughts and behaviors. And that was when I was reminded of the fact that undereating and not getting enough calories into your body can actually trigger eating disorders, or can trigger old habits if you're recovering from an eating disorder. I made a whole video about this if you want to scroll down. I also talked a lot about it in my book that you can purchase on Amazon. So if you want to know more about the science behind eating disorders or about the studies I'm referring to, I would advise you to do that. But just to sum it up a little bit, if we're looking back into the Stone Age and there was a famine going on, in every family or herd, there was about 20 to 30% of the people who had a certain gene. And this gene actually led to them starving themselves if there was not enough food around. So we are also looking at a situation where kind of like starvation from the outside led to people starving themselves. And the reason that is because if there is already a famine going on, and part of the groups doesn't eat anymore, then there's more food for the rest of the group. So it's actually like a survival mechanism for the whole family. But of course, in today's days and in our world, we don't need that and we don't want that. But knowing that actually reminded me of the fact that I really have to take care of myself more, and that I have to make sure to get the calories into my body, as silly as it sounds. I honestly never thought I would be a person who has to force feed themselves, because I always like to eat. But I found myself in a position where sneaky behaviors, sneaky old thoughts came up again. And I was like, ooh, that's interesting, because again, I'm in a very good place in LA. I'm thriving. I'm living my best life here. And noticing those behaviors coming up actually scared me a lot, because I was like, what's happening? Like, that's not me. I don't want to do that. Like, I really didn't want to do it. But part of me was like triggered. And then there was also, you know, not enough energy coming into my body. So the combination of all kind of reactivated all thoughts and behaviors. So I actively tried to work against it. I surrounded myself with people who felt safe. I talked to a very good friend of mine. We made sure we ate lunch and dinner together, all those things. And I eventually also decided to fly back a little bit early, because I'm just in a better place here. And again, I'm fine. I just had my lunch. I just had my little cookie. Everything is good. But I still wanted to point this out, and I still wanted to talk about it on here, because again, I want to do authentic content for you guys. And I also want to make sure that even if you see yourself in a very stable place, even if you're recovered from an eating disorder and you don't struggle anymore, chances are that if for whatever reasons at all, your body doesn't get enough energy for some amount of time, old habits come up. And so I want you to be aware of that. So if it doesn't matter if you're going through a flu, if you're going through a hard time, if you're like super stressed out and simply forget to eat, whatever it is, I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of the fact that you still need to eat properly. You still need to eat 3 meals and snacks a day. It doesn't matter if you're recovered, it doesn't matter what weight you are at. It is always very important to take care of yourself. And so with this simple, small video, I'm saying hi, I'm back again, and we're gonna start this content game again. And I can't wait. I have a lot of topics. You guys asked me a lot of questions when I was gone, and please, please, please continue doing that, because it makes me so happy to see you guys watching my videos. It makes me very, very happy to answer your questions, to hopefully help 1 or 2 people watching my videos. And so I will see you guys in the next one.